He has traveled the world with a 500-pound photo studio. Why? We're about to find out. This is Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin, and with us is acclaimed National Geographic photographer David Littschwager. Hi, David.
Hello.
What you have spent years and years photographing are some very shy subjects, and the result is a beautiful new book titled Octopus Seahorse Jellyfish. Tell us about this wonderful project and book, your photographs, and the accompanying essays.
Well, it's a product of 12 years of work, and it's a compilation of sort of 8 different projects. The essays are derivative of 3 different National Geographic features. So it's bringing together the resources that were produced by 12 years of work. So it's a great opportunity to it's a monograph, the definition of which is sort of a close examination of a set of work. So that was just the last couple of years trying to bring that together.
So why choose these species?
I always wanted to take pictures of things that the world has a use for. And so I guess I don't want to go out and photograph some, weird thing that actually nobody's interested in. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm drawn to, but also what other people might be drawn to. And I also need to figure out how to make a living. And these 3 things, they were done, the principal portion of them were done for the magazine, for National Geographic magazine. And the way my process works with them is to be able to sort of in advance explain myself about why I want to do this, because I want them to be to sponsor me to go out in the world and explore the diversity of octopus and seahorses and jellyfish. So I have to be able to articulate why I think others would be interested in that. And in that exploration, over and over again, I find that, these groups of creatures are fantastic.
And they present some unique challenges to photograph as well, right? From what I understand with the octopus, getting the eyes open, you not so easy.
Well, if you just sort of hit the pause button for a second and think about if you shine a bright light in somebody's eyes, they're going to turn away and their pupils are going to constrict, and it's not necessarily going to be fun. So turn the lights out, use a dim red light to be able to focus with, and then things change. So, I mean, recognizing, what a creature is going to respond to is, I think, the solution. What would you like? if I was taking your picture. I mean, I can, if I was, I do take lots of pictures of people as well, and then I apologize in advance for the bright light of the strobe that models what it's going to look like, so that I can, see in advance. But since I'm not able to communicate that apology to an octopus, I have to just change my technique.
Well, Olivia Judson writes in the book that octopuses are like us, that they return your gaze. So tell us what some of your experiences were here.
There's this series of pictures of an octopus in the book, and its common name is an algae octopus, and it was in the Solomon Islands. And I mean, this creature has, and there's like, covers about 8 pages in a book. And I just looked at this the other day, and it was completely on purpose to design it this way, that it's the same octopus, but you wouldn't recognize it from page to page, because it has such a broad, diverse way of sort of showing itself to the world. It's like, it starts out, little tiny ball, and then at the end, it's this puff of black ink as it squirts away. So over the course of about an hour, it showed me half a dozen different ways of being, that I wouldn't, this is not, it's the same individual, but you'd never know it if you looked at without that context, if you didn't know that it was the same individual.
The portable studio, tell us about that and why you felt it was necessary. Because very often, if you see, I guess many of us don't realize what goes into it, but marine life photography, you just envision people in scuba gear with the camera, et cetera. You created a studio to bring along. Tell me why.
It's the way I was trained as a portrait photographer. So I like to see, I like to see the creature, the individual. So that's what I'm trying to show. The sort of loving particularity of a particular creature. I really want to see how this creature is made. I'm just really drawn to all the edges, all the details, the gaze of an octopus. I mean, seahorses are highly visual creatures as well. Jellyfish, some of them actually have eyes too, but they're so different. They don't have, I think there's zero possibility of mutual regard with a jellyfish, but they're also incredibly fascinating. So I'm a little lost for words to explain myself about my fascination with jellyfish. I have no idea what an octopus actually thinks of me. And I probably think that a seahorse really doesn't care about me, but we're all actually connected in some way. So that's interesting.
But the octopus, there is a connection there, I suppose, then, right?
I think there is. Back to this octopus, this algae octopus that I spent some time with. He did all these, she, I don't know what it was, whether it was male or female, but you know, it was a fantastic performance. I got, 8 pages of lovely pictures. And then at the end, it just kind of seemed like it got bored, and it just, squirted ink, spoiled the water, and it was time to let him go and put him back in the ocean. So the creature sort of, decided it was done. And so it squirted some ink unprovoked and just spoiled the water. And it was like, we're done. So it's like, okay.
So you had worked in fashion photography for some years, an assistant to the famous Richard Avedon. How and why did you change your focus so dramatically? Let's put it that way too.
It wasn't really a plan. I guess it's sort of, it happened 35 years ago or so. I was given an opportunity to make a group of pictures for the Nature Conservancy that were, the principal reason was to show endangered species to a broader public to raise money for habitat conservation. And that was, it was an opportunity to see, share, participate in the beauty of the natural world, and that sort of stuck. And so it wasn't a plan. It was sort of a natural evolution of what was possible.
And I sense through this book and the really magical images, close up, the detail, unbelievable, that you're trying to say something to us, to the readers, you and I suppose National Geographic. What do you want us to know?
I don't know what this idea of a formal portrait, if one succeeds in making a good portrait, that people really connect to. It's like maybe there's this possibility of the subject is presenting themselves to the camera. The viewer is taking this in. So it's like you could sort of think that you were generating this process of mutual regard. I have no idea whether, I'm hoping that by using sort of overt, anthropocentric mechanism of, the gaze of a seahorse or an octopus, or just the spectacle of a jellyfish, will create this sense of regard for the diversity of life. I guess that's it. Just trying to show that the world is a beautiful place and it's not used up, and that there is beauty matters, I guess.
So 12 years when it went into this. Any thoughts? Do you think at this point about what's next, or do you kind of breathe for a while?
No, I can't breathe because I got to make a living, or I have to breathe more, breathe into it, so to speak, and keep going.
Any thoughts about what you're going to be photographing next, or will it be more of these wonderful creatures?
I'm working on a project about the deep sea. And that's really interesting. And also, I I was washing some lettuce earlier today and I got a caterpillar off of the lettuce, and I'm looking forward to photographing it when it turns into a moth.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations once again. The book is titled Octopus Seahorse Jellyfish from National Geographic Books. David Littschwager, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thanks a lot.